in the beginning. And I just really, I remember going over to, we had lots of fun adventures.
We did, yeah.
Sometimes also it's a little bit, when people look back, when you look back or if people look at the business now and not realizing some of the resources that were back then, or some of the, like that, it's weird to think that nothing was really happening in Europe at the time, right? Like
Totally.
and then and it was like, and now they're looking like, of course Europe is like just going because it's been going this whole time. And then you and I, when I think we went over together, right? And it was like, no, I think there was like 200 people maybe in an event. I think, I don't know. You can talk a little.
Yeah, and that was and that was huge.
Huge. Yeah, that was really huge. And then just everything with regard, even the growth in Canada,
Yeah.
So I would love for you to really talk about the journey, because I think a lot of people, you can look at things and think that it's always been good, or that about just the time and I heard something really great, that you're in charge of your activity, and you're in charge of your momentum. And
Mm,
I think that, there's time it's easy to like, when we got started, it was really during the recession. We're almost
yeah.
like the same kind of situation, if you
Mhm.
would. But I always say that you can't let life circumstances affect how you show up in the world.
Yeah.
And I would love if you just kind of share your story, a little bit of what you've learned throughout this time, and really how to keep the momentum going. Like you said, you're ready to like really fire up your business now.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna I don't even have your bio here in front of me,
That's
so
okay.
I think I've got it. So anyway, I'm gonna let you just go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. First of all, it is such an honor to be on this call. Lauren, you know how much I adore you. You're such a mentor to me, and I'm so grateful for our friendship over the years. And yeah, when we met, I was living in London, England. I'm originally from Prince George, Canada, which is a small town about 9-hour drive north of Vancouver. And I'm actually just moved back here. That's a whole other story. But when I started with Juice Plus, it's incredible how life happens. I went into teaching, so I was a full-time primary school teacher, and I went to London, England, because there was no work in Canada at the time, and I was kind of glad for that because I did want a bit of an adventure, and so it was a good reason to go over and not get stuck into the 9 to 5 right away. And for about 6 or 7 years, I taught and I loved it. And then I remember there was a day where I just looked at my students and I thought, I just went from that side to this side of the desk. And I think teachers are incredible and I still substitute teach. But what was really getting to me was the fact that if I wanted any time off, I couldn't take it outside of my holidays. And I was living abroad. I remember my brother was engaged at the time and I was like, you cannot have your wedding outside of my school holidays. Like it's just so difficult. And I remember thinking, I'm so tired of being told when I can go to the washroom, when I can eat, when I can do all these things. And I started to feel really restricted. And I always knew that I was meant to do something else. And I actually ended up falling into personal training. I was really passionate about health at that point because I had spent some time with an aunt who sadly she passed away of cancer, but in the meantime, I was going to Tijuana, Mexico with her to do alternative treatments. And in that experience, I learned so much about the power of the foods that we eat, the chemicals that we spray everywhere, our thoughts, everything. It was just remarkable. And so I fell into personal training and then I got this DVD in my hand literally within the couple of weeks of being a trainer. And this DVD was Dr. Mitra Ray showing an apple, showing that there's 10,000 nutrients in an apple. And I was like, why didn't anyone ever tell me that food is this powerful? Like I knew there was vitamins, but I didn't really get it. And then in that same video, Dr. Du Bois said, and I'll never forget this, he said, disease does not happen at the time of diagnosis. It's been happening for like a long time and for many years. And I was like, wow, that really blew me away. It made me think of my aunt. And so there's kind of like two parts to that journey because the other part was that I became a trainer, I was like, this is amazing. I remember asking one of the trainers, when can I take my break? And he was like, it's your business. You can go whenever you want. But I was so used to being told what to do my whole life. And so that was like a crazy freedom for me. And it took me a while to adapt. But I remember when I discovered Juice Plus, someone gave me a DVD who was not in the business. It was just by chance. And my friend Karen, who I showed it to, had been on Juice Plus when she lived in Canada. And so we got in touch with my upline Zvonko, who at the time was living in London for just 1 year. And Zvonko, we met him at this really cool cafe in Swiss Cottage. And he had this laptop and he was like, I remember him going, I was telling him how I wanted to build a gym and own my own gym. And he's like, why would you want that when this could be your life? And he just lifted his Mac laptop. And I thought, this guy is so cool. I don't know what he's talking about, but I want it. And so I literally signed up to the business and the product all at the same time, not really knowing what the heck I was doing. But Zvonko, I'll never forget, he got me to read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was like, oh my goodness, it just made so much sense. Like here I was going from teacher to personal trainer, which I loved. I loved personal training. But I knew it wasn't the answer because despite how I was very, very fortunate in personal training. I had incredible experiences. I was able to be on television shows in the UK, writing for magazines. I got to train. I went to Saudi Arabia and lived with a princess for 2 weeks. Like it was incredible, incredible experiences. However, no matter how much I earned, if I ever took a vacation or if I ever got sick, I was always worried, like, where will the money come from? There's no longer can I call an employer and say I'm sick and have them pay for my sick days. So I started to really kind of live with this low level anxiety. And that book that Svanko shared with me, I realized, wow, like this is what Juice Plus can mean for me. Like this is the residual income. And that's actually what I've been looking for. Like, yes, the freedom of working for myself, but that's not freedom if you're working every hour there is because you're scared about a time that you're not going to have. And so yeah, from there I started to build it in the UK. But like as Lauren said, times were so different then. Like there was a little bit of YouTube. Facebook was not used the way that it is now. So I just built it really word of mouth and just slowly and casually. So that was like the first.
But like you said, like when we first went over there, people thought we were crazy. Like, I mean, I do remember being like at one place, and I remember going down to a gym, and then there was a personal trainer there, and they were not open to it. But
No.
what do you think was the difference? Because there was a switch, right? Like there's a like in a belief, for people. And what do you think that was? Because I think there might be people that do want to build their businesses. But what do you think it was with regards to belief and for it to explode the way that it did? Because literally, there were a couple of years where it's like, why aren't they getting it? Why aren't they getting it? Why aren't they getting it? And then like one day, I mean, because I think that even John Holowati was stuck as a trainer as an SC. So what do you think was the shift? Because some people might just need. I always say people don't need a whole makeover; they need just a couple little tweaks, right?
Yeah.
What tweaks do you think that it is that got that momentum, if you would?
It was really big. Actually, what happened was I moved back to Canada to be closer to family. And within that year, John Holowati's team in the UK took off. And I actually ended up hitting rock bottom so hard, you guys, like so hard. I ended up having zero money. I ended up like literally not knowing how I was going to pay my bills. And I'd lost two really close people in my life. My best friend and my coach passed away suddenly. And so when I moved, I couldn't rebuild my personal training business. I was so down and so sad. And Vancouver was just such a different climate for personal trainers than London was. And then I also had a lot of personal stuff with my fiance at the time staying in London. And so there was a whole story to why I hit rock bottom, but I'm grateful for that rock bottom. And I met up with John Holowati that year. And this is what I love about our company so much. Like everyone is so gracious and so kind and so want to lift each other up. And I saw John Holowati at that Long Beach conference. And he said to me, Rosa, take your skills, put them together and support your customers with the program. Because that's what had happened in the UK was they had finally created a program. So before John Holowati, what happened was we used to get all these amazing doctors come in and speak. And what do we used to call those events? Prevention Plus events. And
Plus, yeah.
speak, and like we just wanted to educate. And what happened with John Holowati and his team is they stopped not so much that they stopped educating. What happened is they started attracting people and giving people value, sharing stories, and then the education came later.
Right.
So it was just, we had to switch it around. We wanted to educate so that people would get a transformation. They were getting people a transformation and then educating.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the big switch. And, you know, I will forever be thankful to John, because what happened was I came back from, and you guys, my upline paid for me to get to that conference. I was so broke. I had never in my life been broke. It really, I still don't know how it happened, but it happened. And, but I'm grateful because I will never go there again. But what John Holowati, in that short conversation, I came back and I built my business within 6 weeks. I was making enough to pay for my rent, to pay for my food, to take the stress off. Like I really got that incredible jump start. And so I will forever be grateful for that conversation. And it took work. It wasn't like I just came back and it was easy. It took a lot of work, but it was so worth it. And then I saw the power of this company.
I agree. And I think, you know, it was also really awesome was, like you said, Zvonko really, he saw that he went over because of you, you know, because he knew that you were really committed to growing a business over there. I mean, he was all in when he was a cheerleader, even when there was nothing going on with regards to it.
But yeah, he was already living there. I met him there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when he was going back and forth between.
Yes. Incredible. Yeah.
So for you, you know, what got you to say yes to Juice Plus, and why are you more excited now than ever? I'm just curious. So
I'm just always so excited. I could cry thinking about this company. What made me say yes? And, you know, I think this is an important story because literally the reason I said yes was when I showed my friend Karen the DVD. Karen was cool, is cool. She still is amazing. She, at the age of 50, she became a personal trainer. She had lived in Canada because at 18, she saw Canada in a textbook and decided she was going to move there. So when I met her, she called herself Canadian, but she's originally from Liverpool. So Karen was like, I'm getting us back on this stuff. At 43, I started running marathons and I ran 7 of them. And my trainer had me on this Juice Plus and I never got sick. I didn't know what she was talking about. It was like a whirlwind. So when I met with Zvonko, I was like, if Karen's doing it, I'm doing it. And that was it. That was it. There was no sale. And it just goes to show that people want you. People really want you. Like whatever Karen was doing, I wanted to do it because her energy was incredible. She was such a positive person. She was such a go-getter. And so I wasn't going to miss out on an opportunity that she was doing.
So could you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think that, you know, it was funny when I was at Eric Worre, I am part of the Next Level Mastermind. And I think that so many of us kind of downplay who we are, you know, because we're like, oh my gosh. But the truth is people do say yes to us, right? And how, and that, and who we are and how we show up. And how have you seen that shift for yourself? You know, even like you being loud and proud about who you are, and that they get, you know, it's like we were talking about it, and we go like, well, why should somebody sign up for your business? And you go, because they get me, you know, they get you, meaning you, right? Be loud and proud about that. What's shifted in you for that? Because I know it's been a shift for you as well.
Yeah, it's been a big shift. I think, you know, again, what's beautiful about this company is the personal growth that we get. Like they always say that it's a company, like it's disguised as a personal growth course. And it's so true. I really, it's been having mentors, Lauren, mentors like you, like watching people be proud of who they are and not stand down. And I remember I used to, if you used to ask me if this was network marketing, I'd be like, please just don't ask me that question, right? It used to like, but I used to be like that with the price. Like I would get like a frog in my throat if someone asked me the price. Like, how are they supposed to pay for it if I can't tell them the price, for crying out loud? So a lot of this comes with like never quitting, like never giving up. You stay in the game and it's like a muscle. Like you can only build it by doing it. And that's what's scary. So I started to become really proud of our company, proud of the industry was a big one for me, being really proud of network marketing. Like now when people are saying that it's network marketing, I'm like, of course it is. Like, of course. And I think through that, I've also just grown in confidence in myself and being really okay with other people not loving me. Right? That is so hard for us. And it's been, it literally was crippling for me as a child, into my teens, into my adulthood, being so worried about what other people think.
I
And
you go into more about that because I think that's a big thing. A lot of people, need to hear, with
it's huge. I guess I just started to see examples of women that were so confident, and even when people disagreed with them or were negative towards them, it didn't seem to phase them.
yeah.
And I started to see that to be an NMD, you had to be okay with that. Because I remember there would be NMDs and UMDs going up, and I'd kind of be critical. Oh, she thinks she's all that. Oh, this, oh, that. And then I was like, oh, wait, you have to be okay with people like me saying stuff like that if you want to get there. Right. And I'm not a judgmental person, but we all have those little moments. And so I just realized like that's actually just part of what it takes, that the in order to grow this really big, you need to be able to expose yourself to a lot more people on a big scale. And with that is going to come the negativity. And I remember thinking the first time I got a negative comment, I was like, yes, because you won't get there without it.
Yes.
We won't get there without it. And
Distinction. So that's a great distinction. And Leia's saying hi. She's within the Facebook group.
oh, hi, Leah. How lovely. Well, Leah is another example of a woman who is so strong in her beliefs. And I just admire, I find more and more, those are the kind of friendships that I'm looking for. Whether I agree with what they're saying or not, it's really about people standing in their truth. And that's so beautiful. And I think that's very powerful for our business, for our company, for our product, for everything.
What are you most excited about right now with regards to the business, and what would you want to share with everybody for them for them to really see what the opportunities are? I mean, 12 years is a long time, and
Well,
it's gotten you in line and kept you in line, or you can, if you've got notes, I don't know why we didn't even talk
yeah,
about.
that's okay. That's okay. I just wrote down some things that I just didn't want to
Go ahead.
forget.
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to up and
I'm
let you talk.
I'm excited for so many reasons. When I look at, we've had so many events, like the global events, and they're showing what I've loved about our company is the diversity. I have a friend here in town, my friend Anna Bourne, who's 82 years old and building this business. Oh my word, like, isn't that incredible? I know people that are signing up their children that are like 18, 19 years old, and are so excited for them to be part of this. And as I'm a health coach, that's my main business. And as a health coach, I get asked all the time about other products. I get recruited for other companies, and nothing has ever swayed me, because what we have is so powerful. When you start to collect health stories, like for example, for me, I took Juice Plus simply because at the time I had been taking handfuls of supplements that they were like the sizes of tranquilizers. And why did I do it? I didn't question. I did it because other personal trainers were doing it. I was peeing out fluorescent yellow. I probably glowed in the dark if you turn the lights off. And I was spending hundreds of pounds. It was so much money. So when I saw Juice Plus, I was like, oh, I'm going to stop taking all this stuff and just take this, because I understood the power of nutrition from watching that video with Dr. Mitra Ray. And I saw that it was backed by research. And I was like, this is incredible. At least I know it will do no harm to me and to my clients. So what happened for me, I didn't want it to do anything. I just knew it was good for me. But actually, I had suffered with acne up until that point. I had been on Accutane twice, which is horrific for your body. I had been on every, like, antibiotics, tetracycline. I'd been on every lotion and potion you could think of, and nothing worked. And it took about 8 months of Juice Plus but my acne cleared. And now I get compliments on my skin and it still weirds me out because I lived with that for so long. It also stopped my hair falling out. My hair was falling out and I was like cleaning out the drain, in the shower like 3 or 4 times before getting out because it would just get clogged. And I didn't think much of it, but I realized that after a few months of Juice Plus that had slowed down. Now that's my personal journey, but through the years, I have collected so many stories of my personal clients. Really, like, we don't like to make claims and we don't make claims, but some of these stories are so powerful that actually, if they weren't my customers, I would wonder if they were true. But
So
wow, isn't that beautiful?
I'm
And I just don't see another product out there that does this. I just haven't seen it. Like, when I became a trainer, everyone wanted weight loss. So it was really hard for me because I became a personal trainer because I was passionate about prevention of disease because of that story with my aunt. Yet my clients came in and they wanted weight loss. And I thought, my goodness, how do I give them what they want, but also get what I want? And that's when I started like teaching them about nourish your body, heal your body, be kind to yourself, and then the weight loss will come. And it's just such a flip of the switch to the way we need to think. And our company has never veered to, they've always been so good about not going down that quick route of weight loss. Yes, it's a byproduct. It's one of, when you take care of yourself, you do lose it. But we've never been a weight loss company. And I'm really grateful for that.
I know
They really take such thought into what they do.
there was a time when they almost did go down that way, right? But
Yeah, shape.
the shape program, and I think that it's, but I think what you said, Rosa, I really, just because we have more people that have joined us online,
Mm,
and also people that are on the call now, is really going back to what you said about what made the shift in Europe was a change in psychology about really being loud and proud about this amazing opportunity that we have, right? I mean, because our products work. We know the product, works, and we know that the product is great. But can you share a little bit more about that again? Just about, what else you learned from John? So maybe,
Oh, about the transformations and not educating?
yes.
Yeah, so just what John Holowati and Katie Ravy did is they started also visual. They started showing people's results. And yes, they did weight loss, but people were getting healthy. They were showing what was happening. And that's so incredibly powerful, is being visual. Also, like you were talking, Lauren, about us being loud and proud of who we are, because that's who connects, that's people will come to us. Well, that's also why it's really important for us to show our faces and to show our faces on social media. And I know it's scary and we all have our issues around that, but at least once a week, you need to take a photo of yourself and share it, because humans connect with faces. We connect with each other's eyes. And so if we're not showing ourselves, you're just showing product, or you're just showing like like whatever scenery, beautiful things, and you're not showing yourself, people aren't going to connect with you. And I think that was another big thing that they did, is they actually started showing the people behind the stories.
Yes, I love that. And you speaking of which, I wanted to just there's a in our resources, we have so many great resources, because you're really great with social media as well. But I wanted to show something that maybe people aren't used to using, but I think that it's a great way. People are like, oh, what do I do? To really get going with regards to building my social media. And this is on our YOLO page, you guys. There's basically a 24-month, if you would, social calendar, of what you can do, like where you can do a self-promotion, a repost, an engagement question. So this is literally, it's been on our page for a long time. I know you do this. You're very good about this, Rosa,
Mhm.
with regards to, making sure there's engagement type of things.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you use social media? I mean, I also, like
Yeah.
me, I heard there was a girl in the mastermind, and she's like, look, you got to get good at the things you're not good at, so that you know what it's like to be like what it feels like to be a new distributor. So I have been on TikTok for a while, but haven't really done anything. But today, I did one with my dogs putting Juice Plus on their dog food, and then I did one smoothie, and I'm like, oh my God, like, but now I know what it feels like to be a new distributor. and how it's a little bit uncomfortable. But can you talk about that part of being a little bit uncomfortable and why it's so important as a
Yeah,
distributor?
absolutely. I mean, social media is really how I have built the majority, like most of my business, at least 85%. Um, it probably more than 85%. And the way it works is one, it's so boring, you guys. Consistency, that word is so boring. But it's like it's what works. There is it's so rare that there's a day where I don't post. So I find the easiest thing is to have a schedule. Like Lauren's laid it out for you. That's incredible. So that's number one, is have a schedule. Number two is if I have a day where even the schedule, like maybe it'll say what I'm supposed to post that day. But I'm just like, we all have those days where like, I don't feel inspired. I don't know what to do. Like, what I do is I have like about 5 or 6 people that I follow that I think are remarkable posters. And I'll go through their feed and I'll be like, oh, they posted this image with this. And I don't copy and paste their stuff, but I use it to inspire me. So maybe if like they had a picture of, I don't know, like sometimes like, oh, like my friend Monica, a picture of all the books that she has. I'm like, oh, that's a good post because people love talking about the books. So then I'll maybe take a photo of my books and then write something along those lines. So I use other people to really inspire me. So having a schedule, um, being super consistent, looking for inspiration in different places. If I have ideas, I'll save them onto my phone as well in my notes section. I've started using Evernote, and I'll be like social media ideas, because I might have like a quote or an idea or something that I'm like, oh, I really want to post that. But if I've just posted, I'm not going to post it again. So that's the one thing. And then also, like Lauren's just started TikTok. You don't have to do like a million platforms, but I think we should try them and see if they resonate with you. And trying doesn't mean just try once, right?
Yeah.
Stick to it and see if it's something that you have to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. Like I really enjoy Instagram, I really enjoy Facebook, and I enjoy the stories. You guys, the stories have been revolutionary. And if you haven't used them, start using them. I'll tell you why. You cannot post every day about Juice Plus on your profile. Like you can't. It will put people off. Remember back in the day, Lauren, when people used to like sell, it was so embarrassing.
It was.
We all went through it, right? But and don't be afraid to make mistakes, man. I have done some embarrassing things and made mistakes and been that tacky person. Like it's okay. We all evolve, right? We're still here. People forget. And but anyways, so you can't post about Juice Plus too often on your page. You should like once a week max, I would say. But stories, you can do it every single day, and it doesn't annoy anyone. Every day there's a photo of me taking my Juice Plus and my Tower Garden progress every single day. Now that's not the only thing on my stories. I also post like, I don't know, anything. If I went out the door right now, I'd post the photo of snow. Like I post the most random things. But when you start to like think of what you enjoy watching, like when you watch other people's stories, sometimes people are just posting like of their kids every single day and their kids playing, but I'm watching it and I really enjoy it. I'm like, let me see what that little guy's up to today, right? So we might think it's just boring, but it's not. People really enjoy everyday life. And so stories has given us permission to do that. And then we put our Juice Plus in there, but every day it's been a game changer.
Well, it was interesting. The reason I decided to get uncomfortable and do the TikTok was I was watching TV and there was a commercial on and it said, use TikTok to learn. And
Oh,
we had thought that it was this just kids thing. And then it was like, no, learn. There's like the science guy, Bill, the science
yeah,
guy,
Bill
he
Nye.
TikTok teaching, you know,
Amazing.
wow, that changed my whole belief about what I could do. So this morning, my daughter's been showing me things on TikTok, like people taking dog food and like adding good things. I'm like, great, I'm going to put like an egg and some Juice Plus on there, and I got 2 customers from it from TikTok.
That's amazing. See, you're opening up like my ideas now about TikTok too. And I think that's so important, is to be open, because I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think just and I had fun with it, like learning. I was like, I just was like, okay, I could do one of these a day and see how I feel about it. But let's just talk about. So what are you most excited about? We'll take another 3 minutes. We have Fee on now from Australia. We have
Well, I more than ever, you guys, I've gone through a huge, huge life transition and, not to go into any details, but I've recently separated from my husband, which was like something that totally blindsided me. I honestly didn't see it coming. And I am genuinely in a good place. And I'll tell you why. I'm in a good place because of this company. I'm in a good place because there were people in this company that lifted me up. Like conversations that I had with Lauren, Linda Eveden in Australia has been like a huge support. Jennifer that's watching, Leah that's watching, like this company has like held me up through some of my darkest days. But also in the times that we're living in with COVID, it's like we don't even want to say the word anymore. But we need to be in control of where our income is coming from more than ever. I'm a school teacher part-time, like not part-time, like I'm on call. I could work every day if I wanted to, because that's how short they are on teachers. I choose not to, but I'm telling you, it's a system that for me, I don't feel authentic in that system. I am hand sanitizing children 8 times a day. It makes me actually want to cry most days. There are things that, and that might feel like political to you, right? This is just my side of it. And when I'm in a situation that I'm not feeling authentic, what does that do to my spirit? What does that do to me as to how I show up in the world? What does that do to me in terms of my ability to make the massive impact that I'm here to make, like we all are? So what I'm excited about this company is that it has proven time and time again, like Lauren talked about the recession, and now we're in a pandemic. And this company has proved that in the darkest times, we grow the most. Like, what the heck? In March, when we went into lockdown, I sold 10 tower gardens. I hadn't sold 10 tower gardens ever. Like, we have what people need on so many levels. So many levels. I'm communicating with a girl that used to do my facials in London right now because they just went into lockdown again. She's locked down her business now, shut it down. This is like the second or third time. And I said to her, look, I don't know if this is for you, but at this point, maybe bringing in a couple hundred, if you could, she's great on social media. Maybe this could help. I mean, there are people that need help. Like there's a lot of people that have not been affected by this. Their everyday life is just the same. They're earning great money. So there is great money out there. So if you are one that's been impacted really negatively by COVID in terms of your businesses or your jobs, know that money is still out there. There's always money out there. And how we feel about money isn't how other people feel about money. It's just our situations. Like that time where I couldn't even speak about how much Juice Plus cost. It wasn't even that expensive. It's not even expensive, right? That was my money issues. I had gone from being an employer to being self-employed, and money and changing those beliefs was like, it was wild. I had a customer once, I'll let you know this because I thought I love this story. I had someone, all my clients, most like 95% went on Juice Plus because of the way I spoke about Juice Plus, because I loved this product. But I had one client in his session who said to me, hey, Rosa, you're just trying to make money off me with Juice Plus. And I just looked at him and I said, well, what do you think I'm doing right now? Like I was in the middle of training him. He was paying me. like money doesn't change. The exchange of money doesn't change like how much you care for someone else and how much you want them to do well. Like I was offering it to him because I wanted him to have great health. So anyway, I'm excited because like I said, this is the second really big, like, I don't know if the recession was global, it was pretty close to global, major like times that are really have impacted a huge number of people so negatively, and yet Juice Plus rises up. Like our offices, we're all working from home in no time. Isn't that incredible? Like there was really, I'm sorry, other than a few Tower Garden light delays that we'll complain about, like what the heck? Our whole company grew massively in the time of like insane darkness that none of us, nobody could have predicted. And here we are, like, wow. And the opportunity is still in your hands. Friends, like I'm not at the top for various reasons. We all have to grow in various ways to move forward. And I believe like my past relationship and the things that things held me back. I mean, truly, truly what held me back was not my relationship, right? It
Yep.
was me. It was me and the things that I accepted. It was me. And like, I can't play victim. I just can't, because that is not going to empower me. Whatever happened to me in that relationship, it was because I allowed it, period. It feels good when people feel sorry for us. They're like, oh, he was that, or oh, poor you, or this or that. It feels good. But what? That doesn't skyrocket me to the next level of impact and the reason I'm here. It just feels good in the moment. It's just like, that chocolate bar. It's good in the moment.
Well,
You don't want too many of them. Like, you can have one.
so good. I mean, I actually have 3 pages of notes of everything that you said. I mean, I just, I mean, in the truth, I mean, that you're vulnerable enough to say, like, what the truth was, you were what was holding you back, right? Like you said, it's easy to play the victim. But the company's always had our back. And like I said, you and I started during the recession. We started during the recession when nothing was going on, right? Like over there in Europe, and but it's having that vision of what's possible. And yeah, and I'm glad Fee's on the line, because Fee and Linda and Christina, they were really the ones that over there gave hope back to Australia as well. And I know Jennifer was over in Europe at the time when things were just kind of just flat over there as well. So we have a great opportunity. I so appreciate you jumping on. I'm glad other people were able to jump online and as well. We're doing the Eric Worre recruiting challenge. I hope you guys are part of that and are excited about it. Please put in the chat that you are going to be a part of the recruiting challenge. I am going to give $1,000 away for every 1,000 people that we're going to recruit around the world. So if we recruit 5,000 people around the world, then guess what? I'm giving away $5,000. 2,000 people, then I'm going to do. So every person that you recruit during that time, and the goal is not just to recruit a new person, but to get them to start sharing it with other people as well. So within you and your organization, imagine how many times. But I am excited. I honor you, Rosa, so much, and I'm grateful for just the woman that you are and how you show up in the world. And you've really been great for me just when I went through my tough times. I mean, you were there for me. I remember exactly where we were, when we were over there in Europe. So thank you, and thanks everybody for jumping on. I'll see you.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.